And a very, very, very good morning to everybody out there. Let me just get off my phone. I don't know, I check this bullshit sometimes. Very happy Saturday morning. Oh boy, yeah. My hours have been off lately, so actually, well, not too bad. I noticed, when you're doing your fitness, your workouts, the best gains I ever made. Excuse me, the best gains I ever made was when I got up early and go to bed early. You sleep during. I remember I go to bed around 9, 10 o'clock and get up at like 5, 6 in the morning, and you're something about it. I think the sun, whatever the light, helps you grow. Make gains. When I say gains, it's whatever. They should say progress. Progress. If you're looking to add lean muscle, more density, shape. I always hated that term lose weight. Um, because to me, like, when you say lose weight, it's kind of like, if you're heavy, you're losing weight, but you're not in shape. Your muscles, you're not, you see the term in shape. Think about that. What does that mean? That means the muscles, you can see the shape of the muscles. It's not, losing weight. It's like, yeah, if you don't eat for a month, I can guarantee you, well, you'll probably be dead, but um, you will lose weight. Okay, but that doesn't make you look better, feel better, be healthier. Um, so I hope that term goes away with the dodo bird. Um, I've always heard that. I don't know. I think is the dodo bird extinct. That's why they said away with the dodo bird. The narrative. The sorry, let me this over. So I like to put my feet up. Be comfortable, like when I talk. Usually I like to walk around when I talk because I feel that then everything is circulating more. When you're sitting, you're kind of stagnant. I say a body in motion tends to stay in motion. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. Um. Okay, so the title of this episode is yeah, are you too late to the party? And this is a hard one for me. This is a hard topic because you know this applies to everybody. If you are a human being, you are subject to something called you are subject to the four-letter word. Let's see what if you can get it. No, it's not fuck. You are subject to the thing called time, my friends. And time stops for nobody. It stands still for no one. And it continually goes forward. Now, there are good things about this, and there are bad things about this. You know, and in my opinion, look, I'm just giving you my views on what you're up against. So, what does time do for you as you get older? Well, it gives you the chance to educate yourself, to become wiser through life experiences. Like you've been around. Hopefully, you've educated yourself more through some things that work, some things that don't work. Um, and unfortunately, there's people that really haven't done nothing. They've just gotten older and haven't done anything. I've seen older people pushing shopping carts, and it's kind of a sad thing because maybe they're getting an SSI disability check or something like that, but they're doing hard ass labor, recycling cans or whatever, like pushing a shopping cart up the hill, guy like 60 years old. That doesn't show you much intelligence. You shouldn't be doing that kind of backbreaking, ridiculous work for a couple cents a can. I mean, it just shows you. In Yiddish, we call nishka kliga mensch. That means not a smart man, not a smart person. Um, I knew one guy that lived. I didn't know him really personally, but he was a roommate of this guy that I knew, that I'm in touch with. and that's the guy who would go out, recycling for like 24 hours straight, and he just wasn't all there. I think like he wound up moving back to Texas or something like that. But you know, it kind of sucks because I hold all these college degrees, and you would think like, see, the schools, they show you the graduation, you make this big thing like it's a party. It is, and they give you this nice piece of paper and everything like that. But what they don't give you, what they don't tell you, and they don't put stress on that, they are in no way obligated to find you a career or to start you in any way. And if they did, you'd probably think twice before going to school, because the whole point of going to school is to educate yourself and, yes, to graduate and then show employers, yes, I hold a bachelor's degree in this, a master's degree in this, a doctoral degree in this. And, if it doesn't hold any water, then you question, well, why earn it? And the schools would be like, oh shit, like, oh, well, we need students, that's how we make our money. And so people call it a scam. The school thing is a scam. I don't really hold to that, because you could be technically, there's a way to be a professional student. You could just go to school indefinitely and just keep borrowing, like, the maximum, whatever, and then keep earning degrees and keep going, and just be a perpetual student. So, but where's that going to lead? Where's that going to lead? It's so, there's ways to do things in life. Recommend it, but I mean, it's like, what can you do when you try so hard, to reach out to companies that you're attracted to, and they don't give you a chance. Um, I don't want to get off it. I don't want to get off topic, because this is a really important subject. So let me stop right there with that, and let's talk about when you're too late to the party. So what do I mean by too late to the party? The party is things that you want to do. It's your party, right? It's a song. It's my party. I'm gonna cry if I want to. And again, fuck that. The party is your life, and it's what you want to do with it. And when you're too late to the party, you're not. There's no party. It's over. Now, give me some examples. Hmm. I wanted to do a lot of things in my life when I was younger. Now, I was younger, but I was still too old. Let me give you an example. I wanted to be a military officer. To become it depends what branch, different ages have different requirements. The United States Marine Corps has, I think it's the youngest. I think it's 18, 17 to 24. You have to have your bachelor degree and be in like officer training before you turn 24. So really, I think it might be younger. I'm not sure. Um, but I wanted to be a military officer. And what happened was, I remember I tried, and I didn't get my bachelor degree till I was 41. Now I started college, when I was like 17, started add up, credits and everything. I didn't get my associates till I was about 35. Um, had kind of a difficult time for my bachelor's because I bounced around, but I kept units adding up. So I had about 90 units before I was 40. I think around 38 or 39. I don't remember exactly. I know I didn't get my bachelor's till I was 41. So the thing was, the Air Force, I was too old. I was too old. Now, I already told you the story about the National Guard, where they had a deal where they had a college first program, and if you had like 90 credits toward your bachelor's, you're like a senior already, which I was. And I'll repeat the story very quickly. Um, you would go right to OCS. You're an E5. You're a sergeant, and once you graduate, you're commissioned as an O1, as a second lieutenant, and you get to go back to college first, finish your bachelor degree, and then you're in your term of service. Then you get to be National Guard. Your thing. And I was like, this is perfect. I'll do it. And it must have been a month or two around that time that an order came down from the Department of the Army, which controls the National Guard, Army Reserve, and active everything. They lowered the enlistment age from 42 to 35. There's nothing they could do. And I remember recruiters saying, "I'll try." His hands were tied. There's no waiver for that. There's nothing. So it was over. There was no way I could get in. Too late to the party. My professional baseball dream. You know, I I already talked about this. At 31, I signed a professional contract. It was like closure. I knew it was already too late. So You Think You Can Dance was 18 to 30 with no exceptions. I was 31, but I did get airtime on the season one premiere. Too late to the party. There's this kid, this like chess prodigy. Like 7 years old. I remember he was like a monster. He's incredible. I played him. He destroyed me. I mean, but not just me. I just watched. He was great, and he earned his grandmaster title earlier this year. I think he just became the U.S. junior national champion. Um, he's like 17 now, but to be world champion. I'm sorry, my friend. Bobby Fischer was like 15 when he became U.S. champion. Um, he's too late to the party. You know. Now, is it possible that some of these guys they can uh, really run up that hill really fast? I mean, and make it before it's too late? Yes. You've seen the movie The Rookie. Is it Dennis Quaid? But he already was professional, but he was minor leagues, and I mean miracles like that do happen. Invincible, Vince Papale, but these are very, very far few in between. One rare examples, and problem is a lot of people harbor that. They watch that and they think, oh, I could be, and there's nothing wrong with dreaming. But let me tell you, man, I'm one of those dreamers too, and you're up against the factors of your body and time, and it doesn't mean your life is over because you didn't make it as a professional athlete and stuff like that, or whatever. But there's a way you can keep yourself in first class condition for your own fitness and your own ego or whatever. Um, that's why I went back to school. So I kept a couple things going. I got my master's in phys ed when I was 44, and I don't want to be like a personal trainer. I don't like that kind of thing. Still feel like I could still do something. Um, but again, have that degree. Now, master's doesn't guarantee you shit. Neither does a doctorate. But I would like to power it out somehow. Um, I've looked into doctorates in kinesiology. I have so many doctoral units. I'm an EDS holder as well, which is educational specialist, which is like halfway to educational doctorate, plus all the work I've done over the past year and a half. Right now, I'm waiting for my final comp exam to get graded. If I pass, then I'm a doctor candidate. If not, I can go somewhere to other schools or something. So, that's where I stand right now. Um, but as far as being too late to the party, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because you have to realize time moves ahead. Now, it can be kind of elusive. I know, like because you feel like you're not getting any opportunities, but time is still going. So, like, what can you fucking do? I'll tell you what you shouldn't do. I don't know what you can do, but I'll tell you what you shouldn't do. And I did this for a while. I spent a lot of time. I don't drink anymore, but I spent time wasting in bars, watching on TV, whatever. I'm drinking beer. So what are you doing when you're doing that? You're basically like not existing. You're living in the past. If you're talking to somebody next to you, oh, I used to be this, I used to be that. If you're sitting, you're not moving your body, you're drinking beer or whatever, you know, be fucking active. I mean, they say that the opportunities, if they ever do happen, they're for people that are ready. I was watching this WWE. They had this tryout this weekend of SummerSlam in Las Vegas. It's today, actually. It's going to be later today. They usually hold it on Sunday. I don't know why they having it today, but this is a very good question. I don't know. Um, but anyway, they had an invitation tryout, WWE, like for like 35 people. It was an MGM Grand. I researched it. They had a couple of rings set up, and I know A Train runs it, Matt Bloom, and let me tell you, like I had such a passion for this business, the wrestling. I wanted to be in it as something. I felt like there's some place for me in this thing, you know. And look, man, there's people in all different sizes and shapes and characters, and like Harvey Whippleman, whatever. There's like Hornswoggle. There's managers. There's the talent. There's wrestlers. There's writers. There's everything. And I just felt like nobody would fucking listen to me. And I ran into one time. I was at the Marriott at LAX airport, and they were in town. And I was at the bar, and I talked with this one guy. He gave me his email, and I didn't know. He said his name was Bruce Pritchard. I was like, I don't know who that is. I looked up. Now it was the guy that played Brother Love, and I remember because I love you, like evangelist, the white suit with the red face, And I remember, OG. I remember, I grew up watching these guys. The thing is, he could talk. That's really, really important. Yeah, your look and everything like that. It's very important in a wrestler, yeah. But it's something you got to have everything or something. Roddy Piper didn't have like the greatest build in the world, whatever, but he could fucking talk and he could wrestle. Just got recipes. So I watch a little bit of this stuff at the WWE Performance Center as well. And they give these guys a microphone for a minute, and none of them could fucking talk. I seen this one guy. I could not believe like how jacked that guy was on. Oh my god, I never seen it. I was like, it was ridiculously big. This one guy didn't look like he could talk. Who's not a good talker? I mean, no offense, but you got to be honest. He's successful. He was, but fucking Dave Batista. But you see, he doesn't have to, because his look is all that's all, and his ring ability is okay. It's pretty good. But you see, his look is like 6, fucking 5 or whatever, 4. Incredible separation and everything. It's all steroids. I know. Doesn't matter though. That's what he brings to the table. I wrote like on YouTube. I wrote a comment, a couple paragraphs about. And so what happened was they had the tryouts in Vegas, and at the end they bring in like a handful of people into the room. Triple H is sitting there, and he goes, "I'd like to offer you, a WWE contract." And some of these guys start crying, and some of the women get excited, and I started to like. I'm watching this, and I'm saying to myself, okay, what these people don't realize, generally young people are susceptible to emotion. And there's nothing wrong with that when somebody gives you a chance in life. But this is what I wrote. A chance is exactly that. It's a chance. It's not, they make it sound like a contract or something. In sports, a contract is a big deal. However, in sports entertainment, it is not. You have to understand something. Unless, you're somebody bankable already, that they're signed. But these people that go to this little tryout thing tells them that, you know, it's kind of like on American Idol when they say, you're going to Vegas, you're going to Hollywood, whatever. Hey, what does that mean? That just means that. They're going to put you up in a hotel for a little while. You're going to be amongst them, whatever, the top 12 or whatever. You get a per diem. And that's it. That's it. It's not $1 million contract unless you win the show. Now, there have been people on those shows that have been signed to record deals, whatever, that have not won. Point taken. But in the WWE, they don't tell you. You have to relocate to Florida, go train at the Performance Center. Are they paying for your food? Are they paying for your gas? Are they paying for your housing? These are big things to consider. So, they show you these people. Some of them start crying and tearing up. Yeah, they might give you a contract, a developmental contract. You know what that probably means? Okay, give you like 3 months. You're going to train at our facility. What about housing? What about? That's not in the contract. That's your job to figure out. All of a sudden, your dream is over, like this. Okay? So you see, young people are easily susceptible to this kind of shit. And they do this, they record this because that sells. They want to see emotion on television, people crying. They didn't make nothing, okay? Now, you know this because I had those same dreams, all right? I had those dreams. I danced on television. I got the phone call. I got flown to Vegas to compete for $100,000 on a national television show. I've been there, okay? I've been there. I was 29. But I had dreams too. I thought I was going to be, the John Travolta, or something. Okay? Let me tell you, that show was on the cover of TV Guide, man. So I wasn't delusionally dreaming here. I thought I was going straight to the top. This is before YouTube, in 2003. Reality is reality, man. Now, I'm not trying to be a naysayer. I'm not trying to kill anybody's dreams here. But I know it's all about timing too. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna spit this thing out real quick. But it has to do with the BLM movement. And I noticed there was no, like, The Rock and everything was a champ, okay, for years ago. The Rock is like half black, half Samoan. I don't know, he's got, like, I think a little Native American in him or something. But he's not like a pure African American dark skin. So what am I saying here? Even his dad told him before he got in the business. Okay, he went like this. Don't do this. You're making a big mistake. Now, his dad was wrong. Context. But understand His dad was not trying to kill his dream. He was trying to impart his wisdom of the business into him. There was Junkyard Dog. There was Tony Atlas. Virgil, I remember. But they weren't the main draws, man. Okay? McMahon knows this. This is all a business, okay? I think it was the black population in the United States of America. Was it 15, 20, either less? Your champion can't be, okay? It has to be somebody that somebody relates to. Most people are, the average is white. That's why John Cena, okay? Now, I'm not trying to say that there's no way a black person can make this thing, but it wasn't until recently that we saw the push of Bobby Lashley. Why? Because of the movement. Apollo Crews. Because of the movement. And if you look at the audition that they showed you, most of the guys, there were a couple of black guys that were emotional and everything, getting a chance because of the movement. And then there was women too, which that was, I mean, I can get into this whole thing. It's kind of, about women's wrestling. I don't understand, why that there was never a demand for it. Never. And I don't know if it's because of Stephanie McMahon, like her, trying to change the company into this kind of thing. But it just never worked. And it never will. And they just don't understand that. That's not their big draw. The people watch this to watch the big dudes get thrown around. Okay? To see people like Lesnar, Undertaker, they're getting old. And Cena told me personally, big enough. And he told me that personally. But still, he's let me tell you, stand next to that guy, he's fucking huge, I understand everything changes. Wrestling is not like it was in the 70s. It wasn't like it was in the 80s, into the 90s, and today. But let me tell you something. If the business is not profitable, it will die. I don't care. And I think they fucked up. They're trying to change things in the way that, like, they keep the same kind of people. They do bring in a little here and there. But there's a real problem with development, story, character, writing, everything. Everything. And they're just not putting enough into that. If you build it, they will come. The talent will come. And it just seems like there's something wrong. And I know what's wrong. I could tell you what's wrong. It's not just those things I mentioned. I'll tell you what's wrong. McMahon, Vince McMahon, when he started this thing, early 80s, he was young. He was hungry. And chutzpah, Chutzpah, drive. I was saying, WrestleMania. They didn't call it WrestleMania 1. It's called WrestleMania. And he steered the ship and put everybody on there. Liberace, Muhammad Ali, Hogan, Mr. T, Orndorff, and Piper. McMahon was a fucking captain. He was a captain for a long time. WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant, and everything like that. Banking on Hogan. Hogan was the main draw. Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior leader. All these characters. Tito Santana gave him the IC belt because he's relating to the Hispanic audience. Rey Mysterio Jr., whatever. McMahon knew this. Bill Goldberg. He doesn't like really look Jewish, kind of thing, but I guess he is. I don't know. Don't matter. The guy slapped me on the shoulder, WrestleMania 20 in the hotel. He walked by me. Jesus Christ, these guys are fucking big. They are, yeah. And now, I'm learning about this NXT. I don't understand what the point is of developing. See, and also take into consideration, there were only 4 pay-per-view events in the 80s, even the early 90s. I think then they started In Your House kind of thing. But first, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, I forget what the third one is, but I know WrestleMania, of course. The point is that they didn't have a pay-per-view every month. Oversaturate this thing. Once every 3 months. So it would be kind of a prestigious thing. People look forward to it. And the hype, the build-up for it. Keyword build-up for it. McMahon knew all of this. But what happened was, I think he started to say, hey, you know what? Let's push this thing as hard as we can. And let's try to make as much as we can with it. And I don't blame him. Everything runs its course. There's some woman, it's not Stephanie McMahon, there's some woman responsible for turning the company from $1 billion into a $3 billion company. WWE. But, it's just not. Because they bank it, they market it in India and whatever. And that's why they found one guy, some Indian guy, the Jinder Mahal, whatever. One guy. Now, there's a great Khali, too. He can't talk. He doesn't have to. Because he's 7'6" or whatever. You see, WWE knows all of this. And the whole idea is have a representative of a race or a country that people can look up to. And that's exactly what John Cena is. He's, timing. Timing is just like I talked about. The black guys that got the opportunities, and Bobby Lashley getting a big push, and Apollo Crews. Timing. When Brock Lesnar left, John Cena moved up. timing. Now, it's just, I don't know. I think, like in my opinion, what they doesn't matter what I think. I know. I don't understand why they develop some other new brand instead of just focusing, on Raw and SmackDown. It just seems like, and the COVID thing. Oh my God, that must have hurt the shit out of the company because events. I think they should have just went on hiatus and then focused their powers on the future, creativity, and saying, "Look, this is what we need. We can focus on this." And the problem is that they just, look. I watch those tryouts, and they show these kids doing military type drills. That's not how you train to be a superstar. Not at all. This is not about a boot camp, a military training. How's that going to teach you to develop a character? You need just to know the basics of ring performance. You need to be something unique, and you got to know how to fucking talk. And if you don't know how to do one, you better be so beyond in the other ones that it overshadows the third. So name anybody. Name any character. And I can tell you why they were successful. Let's go down the list. Let's go from the absolute top. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't care for him, but that's irrelevant. Why was he so successful? Okay, he's pretty good size, right? But his body is not beyond extraordinary. So that's not a selling point. He looks like a redneck hick, though. That relates to Middle America. Bingo. You're what are you dumb? What are you stupid? You can talk. What are you dumb? What are you stupid? What you got a mental problem? What the hell did the damn problem with you? You can talk. Bingo. And he could wrestle. Not a phenomenal performer, but still could give you ass whooping. You wouldn't believe opening a can of whoop ass on you, dumb ass. There you go. The Rock. Very good physique with his stature, his height and everything like that. He could fucking talk. Unbelievable. And the millions and the... Okay? And he could wrestle. In-ring performance. A recipe for success. Kurt Angle. Pretty good physique, Olympic gold medalist. First in WWE history. He could talk. Oh, it's true. Oh, it's damn true. And he could fucking wrestle. He's charismatic too. He's got like this kind of ego kind of thing. A weird kind of character. A backwards logic of Olympic, like a heel sort of weird. It worked. That's the reason that those guys were the top superstars. An Ultimate Warrior, couldn't understand what he's saying half the time. Doesn't matter. He knows what he's saying. And look at his physique, right? Jesus. He could wrestle. There's your recipe for success. Now, there's some people that really can't talk. I talked about Batista, but he makes up for it on the other end with his look, and his ring ability is decent plus. But the look, it takes him over the top. Makes up for it the other way. So, and John Cena is John Cena. You know, was like the prototype. You know, great physique. Pretty good plus talker, you know, give him that much. And pretty good plus the in-ring abilities is there. But, you know, his look and everything with everything is untouchable. It's untouchable. It's like the perfect American specimen, you know? For like, you know, the military kind of guy, straight up, you know, classic American looking dude. So you put that all together, it's a recipe for success. Brock Lesnar, Jesus. I don't even think you have to. I don't even tell you what that guy's thing is. Not very bad. You know, it's weird. He doesn't say much, and it's kind of interesting. I think he could have been a great talker. I think he could have been, but they wouldn't give him the chance. They let Paul Heyman do all the talking for him. But very good, like charismatic in ring, and God, that guy, he's just a total, you know, real tough, you know, don't, you know, just like a fucking incarnate, right? Yeah, he's just all of it. That's why he's that. That's why he got the push. Anyway, you know, so when you ask yourself, are you too late to the party for whatever it is you're trying to do with your life? I hope you realize that time stops for nobody. That's the kind of negative. I know. Kind of sucks when you think about, oh, what? It doesn't mean it's over. It might mean some of your dreams are over, yes. But you can lateral and transition with things. You know, look at like A Train, that Matt Bloom. He became like, you know, the lead coordinator for the WWE Performance Center. William Regal, too. They had their time. You know, Fit Finlay, even a late kind of thing when Fit Finlay came back. I remember he wrestled Benoit. It was a great match at one time. Still, they stay involved, training younger people. And I know they don't want to tell, they don't want to crush anybody's, they don't want to hurt people's feelings. But it's better to do that than not tell them, because if you're not telling somebody something, you're essentially lying to them. You know, to train people like in a WWE Performance Center, like it's the military, it's not the military. You sign a contract in the military and you do your job and you can get promoted and work your way up. You don't just get released for no reason like this. In the wrestling entertainment business, you can get released. Like you do your job, try to work your way up. There's no guaranteed status of hierarchy of going up. So it's not. So you shouldn't be training that way. You know, that's the thing. That's why I watched this and I kind of like looking. I go, what are they doing? What the hell are they wasting their time for there? Because what they're trying to do is, I know what they're trying to do. I don't even want to tell you. They're just trying to see how bendable and breakable you are. Now, some people, when you got nothing, I get it. I get it. Nothing to lose, just sign away. I get it because I was there too. But I danced on TV for free, okay? And that's just stupid. Advertisers making, you know, the promoters making money. Everybody's making money except you. Why do you think Charlie Sheen vacated 2.5 Men? Because he made a phenomenal point. He said, here I am educating the country and the world, entertaining. And I'm getting $1 million an episode. Meanwhile, Chuck Lorre, I put $500 million in his pocket. I put $1 billion in CBS's pocket. And I'm the star, and I'm only getting $1 million an episode. He made a valid point. And he wanted to be the highest paid actor on television, and they wouldn't give it to him. He wanted $2 million, I think, an episode, and they wouldn't give it to him. That was it. So, I don't know, is it greed or whatever? I don't know. Meanwhile, 99.999, they wish they could make money like that, become something. I live right in the middle of all this shit, and I've never made nothing in entertainment. I tried to reach out to people to connect. Nobody would listen to me. Nobody would try to hear what I have to say. Nobody. And that's fine. Dreams don't always come true. It doesn't mean that life's not worth living. And it doesn't mean that anything or become anything. That's not what I said. But please realize that dreams do not always come true. Okay? Now, if you don't do anything it takes to set up that dream to be a reality, then you have 0% chance. But let's say you did go to acting school. Let's say you do go out to the auditions. Let's say you do all these things and nothing happens. Then nothing happened. But at least you set yourself up for the possibility for it. With me, I train every day with my martial arts. I train every day hard with my fitness. I never said I'm going to be the next Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee or anybody famous. But I set myself up for it just in case. One of the girls that they signed for the developmental contract, she's young, whatever, but martial artist and everything like that. Set herself up for it. Still no guarantees, though. Still no guarantees. See, I see it. I'm looking at it from the eagle's eye perspective. I know how this works. I don't have to be in the business to understand how this business operates. If you do enough research, you can understand, figure it all out on your own. Now, I get it. Some people, it's like, look at, Cena talked about this. He said he was mowing lawns, okay? I know McMahon's made a fortune off of him. But where would he be without that? He was willing to give in order to get. And he got. He's a rare example. There's a lot of people didn't get that push. Anyway, I hope you like this one. And I hope that you don't walk away from this being like, thinking I'm the naysayer or trying to crush your dreams or something like that. I'm just trying to explain to you that, and not the odds or anything. I'm just trying to impart that, I don't know how to say this. It's like, chase your dreams, but have something to fall back on. I mean, well, maybe not. Look, I got a master's in phys ed, and I love the fitness and doing, like, practicing and all the things I do. I still got a master's degree in physical education. So I think you should have something like that, have something to go along with that, because the time just adds up. That way you don't become like this depressed, somebody sitting at a bar. Oh, I used to be a professional baseball player. I sat next to this dude in a bar one time. He said he had one bat in the major leagues, I think for the Phillies or something. I told him my story with that. Well, I got a master's degree in phys ed. Do you? You combine this shit. You combine the shit you did with that power, that education could go somewhere. You don't want to be some fucking bum on the street, okay? With a little story to tell. There's nothing worse than that. I've never been there, but I plan on moving ahead, not back. Now, if you got the education and you got that experience, life experience in chasing that dream, you might have something. Might is the key word. It's not a guarantee. You might. And you're going to need it because the world's a competitive place. In order to get paid what you're worth, you start your own business. Maybe you could, use your own cycle. We say either cycle is your intelligence, your smarts. Do something on your own. I heard of the story that Dave's hard bread. Dave's hard bread. It's funny. Dave's bread. The guy did like 15 years in prison or some ridiculous. I don't know, that long. Dave's killer bread. Apologize. But he was a kid. He was working in a bakery with his dad. He sold the company for $275 million. Not bad for a dude that was in jail for years and years. He was able to find his niche after all the crap he went through. I heard the guy's interview, and he looked like he was in jail for a long time. Tough fucking dude. Jesus. All right. Well, anyway, that's that. I'm gonna hit the gym at 8 o'clock when it opens on the weekends. I hope that you get something from this episode, and don't give up, whatever it is. Tony Robbins said, if this doesn't work, change your approach. Change your approach. You find something. You find something. Sometimes you gotta give up something in order for something else to open. I know. Keep fighting, keep doing.